Hello, and today we've got another 2012 Scottish Cup winner, Andrew Driver. How are you doing today, Andrew?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. A little bit sunburnt. I was out in a five-a-side tournament yesterday, and I think I stayed out too long in the heat. But other than that, feeling good.
Good. So, what is your first memory playing football?
First memory. My dad actually coached. I was down in Oldham, Saddleworth, and we had our own little local team, and my dad coached us, and it's quite funny because it was a smallish place, so all my best mates were in the same team, and yeah, I think I just loved playing football from that minute. My first footballing memory was watching I think it was the '94 World Cup. Was that the one in America? That was
I think
the
so.
first, and I think the year before that I went to Wembley to watch Oldham, and I just
Right.
even to this day I've always just loved football since then.
Fair enough. Who was your first club you played for?
That's the same team we were called 3D Dynamos.
All right.
They've just changed the name now to Saddleworth Dynamos down just outside of Oldham near Manchester.
And who was your first professional club you played for?
Oldham. I played when I was like 8 or something. I think I was in the academy there. And the funny thing is, I got told not to go back because I didn't practice my Cruyff turns enough. So my first team I played for, and the first team to be released from.
When was the first time you were asked to sign an autograph by a fan?
Oh, I don't know that.
Would it be at Hearts or Oldham? Or...
No, it was definitely at Hearts. Probably just when you started playing. I can't remember specifically.
What are the best and worst kits you ever wore?
The best and worst kits.
Mm-hmm.
Oof. The best kit. I think I always liked the Hearts Maroons. Obviously, one of the good ones. But I think the Graaf Shop trip when I was in Holland, because they have all the fans, all the sponsorships all over, and it's a little bit different, something that we never used to. And obviously, I have the blue and white hoops, so that was probably the best trip. The worst, I think, probably the orange at Houston Dynamo. I just don't like the color. I wished it had gone. If it was darker, I think it'd be good, but just the light orange, I just don't think that's a good strip color.
Fair enough. Who was the best player you swapped shirts with?
I only ever swapped shirts once,
Who was
and
it with?
it was with Alan. No, actually twice. I did it with Nakamura once, so he was
Right.
probably the best. And then I swapped one with Hutton, and
All right. Yeah.
and like I asked to get his shirt, and then I was going to give it him, like, because that's when you grow up, you think that's what it's going to be, and he like, no, I don't want it, and kind of like embarrassed me a little bit. So I was like, I'll never do that again.
What would you say is the best moment of your career?
Oh, that's an easy one. That's the Scottish Cup final. I don't even need to think about that one. Like I've had amazing times playing football, but that was just the day, the build up, everything was just like different level on that one. I think that's probably, if anyone asked me in your career, is that highlight, that was definitely it.
On that day, you came up against Matt Doherty, who went on playing Premier League. You had him in your pocket. First of all, is he still there? Secondly, would he be one of the best players you played against?
I wouldn't say he's one of the best players I've played against. Obviously, I've managed to play against Henry, Suarez. We played the Liverpool team. So no, he wouldn't be the best player I played against. But the question is, he's still in my back pocket. I think if you ask him now, he'd have no idea who I am anymore. So no, he's done really well for himself, and it's good to see. I think that day I just had a little bit. I think our whole team had a bit more than them. But to be fair, he's improved from then, and he's come on well, right? He could be playing in the Champions League next year.
Exactly. He's too busy trying to get in the Champions League, not trying to get out of Driver's pocket.
Yeah, I don't think he's lost much sleep about it anyway. Let's put it that way.
What's the best stadium you've played in? Because you played in Anfield, you played at Hampden, Parkhead, Ibrox.
I think Anfield, it's quite funny now Liverpool won the league again. You go back to saying like, oh, we played there. Anfield's awesome.
Mhm.
I always enjoyed playing at Celtic Park and Ibrox. The atmosphere at those two places was brilliant. I used to really enjoy those games. But then maybe Ajax Amsterdam as well. The
Yeah.
Amsterdam Stadium's pretty
Mhm.
special. The Feyenoord Stadium's good, but so in the Netherlands, everyone sees like Feyenoord, the Kuip it's called, as being the
Yeah.
stadium. But I felt it was a little bit old, and the atmosphere is supposed to be the best there. But I preferred playing in the bigger, newer stadiums.
What's the worst performance you had on the football pitch?
Oh, there's been a few. Um, I think the ones that were worst are the ones when you're playing well, going into a game and your form's
Yeah.
good, and then you play bad because it just comes out of nowhere. And I remember Hamilton on like a Tuesday night once at home, and I remember going into it really confident, and then just nothing came off, and it just like the most frustrating night. So I think that's probably up there as one of the worst. It's funny. It's when you're young, you have those really stinking games.
Mm.
As you got older, you stopped having as many good games, but you had a lot less bad games. So your consistency started leveling out.
Who was the best teammate you had, ability-wise?
Ability wise, so I always have to go to Larry Kingston,
Right.
just because he nutmegged me every day, and he purposely did it, and he had a lot of ability. I was looking to play with a lot of quality players, but skill on the ball and being able to do some funny things. That guy had a lot of ability. He
Mm.
really did.
And who was the worst teammate you had for like doing pranks and stitching you up, that sort of thing?
Uh, I'd like to point out, I don't think anyone got me.
One of the lucky ones.
I think if there's stuff going on, we were always involved in it. I think as in the dressing rooms, it was funny when you went away to America. They never really did the pranks, or in the Netherlands. It was only in Scotland where we had that banter, and I can't really think of many times. There was some guys that you just knew you're not to mess with because,
Yeah.
like, I think someone like Danny Granger or Ryan Stevenson, you're desperate to do
Yeah.
them, but you know that they don't know where the limit is, and they'll just
Yeah.
wreck your stuff. So you have to know where to tread carefully. And there's some people you're just desperate to get, and some people you just left well alone.
Who's the best manager you ever had?
Best manager?
Yep.
I've had so many.
Mm.
Best manager
Sergio,
in terms of
just coaching and that sort of thing.
oh God, we had. So it's funny because when you're young, you're learning a lot. So
Yeah.
John McGlynn was our under 19s coach, and he taught me a lot. So he was probably like one of the best coaches. And like the time we had in the under 19s at Hearts was brilliant. Like we had the best time. So they're probably some of the best memories. Best coaches, it's difficult because it's so different. You had Chavo Laszlo, who had one style, and then you have Paulo Sergio had another style.
Yeah.
But then you had like the likes of Jim Jeffries, who were probably the kind of people we enjoyed playing under. Just because. So I'd probably go one of the Scottish managers like Jim Jeffries, just because you enjoyed every day, like you enjoyed the training, and it was good to be around.
Fair enough. What was the last goal you scored?
The last goal, it was against NEC Nijmegen in the Helders Derby.
All right. Great scoring like Derby then.
For De Graafschap. Yeah, I seem to score most goals in a derby. I had a problem. I only played well in games that you needed to do well in. That's probably why I retired early.
At least you won over the fans in those sort of games then.
Pardon?
At least you won over the fans in those sort of games then.
Well, I'd like to think so. You never know though, do you?
What was the last game you played? Would it be in Holland?
Pardon?
Would it be in Holland?
Yeah, but so what happened was I got injured, and in January we're playing against PSV's reserves because they play in the second division, and I injured my knee, and I came back, And I can't really remember. I played a friendly for Crawley Town when I was on trial at one point and played against Arsenal, which was good. I think my last game was against Charlton, but I can't specifically remember the last game because with the Grafschap we got promoted, but I didn't play in the last game. So I think I came on in the playoffs. I'm not sure, but I was just coming back from injury, so it wasn't really memorable anyway.
And just finally, when was the last time you had to pay for a ticket to go to a football match?
Well, that's a good question.
Would it be a while ago?
I don't even know. That's a good question because I don't really. Obviously, in America, we don't really go very often, but we've been to the Dynamo. I have friends. In the Netherlands, I never went to watch any games. Oh no, I know. It was Borussia Mönchengladbach versus Hanover. So Mönchengladbach and Dusseldorf and Dortmund were only an hour away. So when we had a weekend off, we'd go down and watch those games. And Mönchengladbach, that's a good place to go watch football.
Fair enough. That wraps up. Thank you for coming on, Andrew. It's been a pleasure.
No problem.
Thank you.